hello. Let's make this a little loud. There we go. Hope everyone's doing well today. Let's hop in, and I'm gonna keep working on spells. All right, the big spell redo. Let me open up a couple things here. Gotta get the spreadsheet. Yo, it's Oder. I'm out and about. Your name still comes up as Oder, so how you doing, man? I am still plugging away on spells. Made a lot of progress though. I had to build some extra internal systems to kind of handle spell effects better and whatnot. I think I got it down now. So really it's about going in. I gotta test each spell. I think I reworked the... I'm gonna have to update my spreadsheet, but I think I have the mana costs and everything around where I would want them. A lot of stuff. Spetsy, hey. Let's hop in. Let's hop in. What I was working on before, a couple things. We're gonna pause the music for now, and I'm going to go into sounds. I have everything kind of low. Here, we'll just bring everything up 50% here. Right, so you got your spellcasting spells now. The particles have been fixed. Before, the particles would just kind of cut off. They don't do that anymore. Now, you'll have sound effects. Each spell school has a different sound effect. I also fixed the spell effects when they apply to a character as well, and the you know, just the effects of like being under a buff. So I also fixed heal. You'll see here that I have like a light spell and its alteration. All the spells have been recategorized. For heal, you can heal targets up to 10. It's like 10 blocks away. So I could heal like the polar bear, for instance, and you can see, like, you hear the spell effects and everything. You'll see that stuff. Flash heal, if you don't have a target, will default healing you. So this is the kind of stuff I've been working on. Right? Here we go. See? So I would have healed myself for 3 points of 3 health points. So I think Flash Heal 1 is pretty solid. It's pretty solid. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually going through. There's a bunch of stuff that I have to do, right? So registering each spell, that was a big chore. The logic, like what the spell actually does, the particles to make it feel like a spell. And then if all those things are finished, then I can just mark it as done. So all of this, bam. Flash Heal 1 is looking good. Because I was testing this stuff offline here, so I know all of these spells are also going to work because I've tested them all. For evocation, I created a new kind of attack spell, and I kind of changed how some of the spells work. Oh, the grimoires changed. There we go. So now you can look at a grimoire. The top has a symbol. Oh, there! Coming in with the Prime. Thank you very much. 6 months. Ooh, 6 months. I appreciate it. Thank you. You'll see here that grimoires. I created a spell symbol for each school. So you have this is the evocation, and then you have alteration, and then the triangle one right there is incantation. And then this one right here is Conjuration. And now, on the spine of the book, you will also see if it's a tier 1, 2, or 3 version of that spell. So, like, for this one right here, Temporal Touch, this is Temporal Touch 1, 2, and 3, right? So I want you to be able to look at these books, these grimoires, and see some kind of stat component added on there. So I enhanced all of that. This update has been, it's been a lot of work. But, you know, like, I need to embrace something in this mod, and it's going to be the spellcasting. I want you to be able to specialize in conjuration, right? So if you would just want to be a creation mage, you should be able to come in, right? Like a summon object eclipse, right? So this is one of the summon object spells. I'm not going to be able to use eclipse because my mana pool is abysmally low. So let's put that on a shelf. Here we go, like summon pickaxe. Oops. Right, so I can cast a spell here. And this is what conjuration spells are going to be like. You'll pick an area, and then bam, right? Like, it's a greater pickaxe that I just spawned. It will last for so long. You could come up to it and pick it up, and it's a summoned item, so it's going to have like a certain amount of time to live, but a creation mage will be able to make a lot of unique things. Yeah, you could mine with this. so you know, just trying to find the you know, like each specialization, kind of make them feel unique. Let's put on here. Let's move that out because I did make a couple changes. Here, let's pop Temporal Touch 1 in there. Oh yeah, this is the War Staff. Here we go. So for this spell, I wanted a quick casting, short-range spell. This is only 2 seconds. You can move while casting. And then you'll see it actually, it's like a cone effect in front of you. It summons an orb of whatever the elemental energy is. This particular spell can come in like, you know, fire touch, lightning touch, and it will do that kind of elemental damage. But this is kind of, and these spells can affect like a certain number of creatures as well. So this one becomes like a short range kind of burst AoE, and I think it worked out pretty well. I think it looks pretty cool. It's like a nice explosion in front of you. I think I made it to where tier 1, the tier 1 version of this spell. Yeah, I think tier 1 hits 1 target, tier 2 could hit 2 in that AoE, and tier 3 could hit 3. So like if you have the tier 3 version of the spell, it does 9 points of damage, but it can do 9 times 3 opponents, right, if they're all clustered together. So you could do up to 27 maximum points of damage for something that is a relatively quick cast. I think it's 2 seconds. I think it's only 2 seconds, right? Yeah, 1, 2, yeah. So again, right, you hear the spell effects in there. I have spell effects, you know, for each school. This one, you could see it costs so little mana to do. So actually that was Temporal Touch, and I can say all of the Temporal Touch is done. And this is basically what I'm doing now. Figured I'd stream, talk to people while I do it. Rust Orb. Let's test out Rust Orb. I think Rust Orb's going to be fine too. Let's see. Which one is it? Here we go. Whoops. There we go. Here, let's turn off the music again. Here, we'll fly in the air. So casting looks like it's working. Yep. And I can hit them with the Rust Orb spell. Perfect. So Rust Orb sounds good. I see the particles. Oh, you know what? Wait a minute. What about the particle trail for the orb? So I don't have a particle trail made yet. Let me just double check that. No, I do. Okay, no, I do. I do have a particle trail. You know what? It's because it's Rust Orb. It's... Yeah, it kind of blends in. So that's the new projectile. I tried to have like that kind of comedy kind of trail coming off of it. But I didn't want to have like a lot of particles, mainly because I'm finding out that even with max settings, there is a maximum amount of particles that could appear for a player at a time. So I got to be careful with that because I'm using a lot of particles with it being magic. Because it's one of those things where, like, if I have particles in a certain pattern, if it starts not spawning some of those particles, it's going to mess up the way the pattern looks, and it's going to look like it's just scattered random particles. You see that with... I actually have a debug version here. Right, so that right there, it looks like a ring, but once it starts, once there are too many particles and it stops spawning certain particles on the screen, that looks just completely chopped up. You can't tell that it's a spinning ring anymore, so I just got to be careful about stuff like that. Let's cast another spell just to check it out. Let's do Fireball. Oh, you know what? I've been doing a lot of Fireball. Let's do Shadow Bolt. Shadow Bolt 2, 1. Oh, Shadow Step. I'm like, why are there 4 Grimoires? There should only be 3. All right, let's get Flash Heal out of there. You know, I gotta say, I love that I made this spell system, like spells physical objects, because just placing them on a bookshelf, like you could have your own like magic library. I think it's pretty damn cool. There, we'll get the music going again. Shadow Bolt. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah. I like the sounds. I like it. So, I can say that everything from Rust Orb down to Shadow Bolt is also good to go. Are we still a release candidate? Does anyone know? Are we still hitting that 1.20.8 release candidate? I think so. I think we're still. I feel like I have more time to work on this because I'm not going to release anything for a release candidate. I agree the library is very aesthetic. Yeah, right? Like I want you to feel like a mage. My books. And you'll see here too, for the evocation, the attack spells, we got the Temporal Touch, we have the Rust Orb. I feel like Temporal Touch is that kind of cone in front of you. Rapid, low damage, something that you could fire, something that is a little lighter on mana consumption. Rust Orb is 25 blocks, right? We're talking long range sniping. Rust Nova, which is the, just the AoE around you, and the difference between Rust Nova and Temporal Touch is fast, and it's like 1 to 3 targets. Rust Nova, it's going to have a cast time similar to Rust Orb, but you can move while using it, and you can affect up to, I think the Tier 1 version right now hits 5 targets around you. Tier 2 hits 10 targets around you, so it's a big kind of AoE explosion. Spike Shield got an upgrade. Spike Shield does, I think, pretty much double damage right now than what it does in the previous version. Corpse Explosion is Corpse Explosion. It's really cool. And then I have all of these. Instead of Rust Field and stuff, it's now called Void Pulse. And when I create that spell, it's going to be similar to Conjuration. Like what I have for Conjuration. So let's actually put Summon Axe. Sure. I keep going to the crappier wand. Here we go. So what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to cast this spell, and you will pick a place, right? So this is gonna be an AoE that you can choose. So, bam, right? You would cast it there, and then it would start attacking within that sphere of influence, within that area, and it would start pulsing whatever the elemental damage is. Those spells are going to take a little longer. That's going to be like a draft 2 once I've gone through all the other spells. And I'm going to do things like have meteors like fall from the sky, or, you know, like the blizzard spell. It's that kind of like AoE type of spell. Rasa, just wondering though, wouldn't it be better in a fight to have the CD after the spell fights can be hectic? What do you mean cooldown? There are no cooldowns right now. If you want to, you could blow through all your mana pretty quickly. The issue with that is you don't have a lot of ways to rapidly gain mana. not expensive, like inexpensive ways. Also on the dock is to, oh, the casting. Well, yeah, I mean you have to cast while, you know, you gotta hold down your your casting. Conjuration's gonna be so fucking cool. Like, because eventually, if you want to really specialize in this, not only am I gonna have the minion system in, but you'll be able to do things like let's look at the Hellfire spell. So like as a Conjuration mage, I'll be able to get like an ultimate weapon, right? Like, so I could summon, you know, the Hellfire. I gotta fix it. This so it looks like it's summoning the Tempest, but this is like the Windblade, right? So you'll be able to pick it up and you'll be able to do like massive wind damage with this. But these, I put a lot of work into these weapons here. I think my favorite is the Eclipse. Just because it's like a broadsword, it's got like the eye in it. Love it. That, and you know, I kind of like them all. Like even like the earth, I always hated the earth element, right? And I'm like, oh, it's kind of lame. So I had to give it like a cool looking hammer you just smash with. lot of things to do. A lot of things to do still. Range-shaped AoEs or a chef's kiss. Burst around the caster is nice, but I'm often around friends. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, if you are in like an underground area, right, and you don't really have anyone near you, and there's like stuff like all around you, yeah, you may want to fire off some of the rust novas or fire novas or whatever, right? You got to be careful, because even your projectiles, right, like the Rust Orb spell or Fireball, if you hit a friend, it's going to hurt them, you know? Like it's not going to feel good. So you gotta be careful with your magic. Gotta be careful, especially like with that AoE too. I may or may not make it to where it ignores you for damage. I'm not sure yet. Right, because if you engulf the area here in like the Inferno spell, and you are standing in the Inferno spell, you're still a living thing, and you're gonna take fire damage just the same. Now you could put on like a resist fire buff on yourself, right, to drastically mitigate that, but you're still gonna take on fire damage, you know? Like, it would make sense. And then of course if you cast that in your home, or you know, you can really mess up some things. Just like Corpse Explosion, right? You do Corpse Explosion and you're too close, or your friends are too close, dead. You're dead. Don't even try to survive. You're gone. I've killed so many friends with my AoEs on accident. I have to carry Revive around me because of that. Well, what you could do also is you could just cast Corpse Explosion on the person, because I think it works on players, and you could just blow up their corpse too. just say it's all for the cause. Yeah, if it's a dot, it should affect you too, at least. Yeah, that's the other thing. After I go through this list, I want to make channel-based spells. So like I want to get a Drain Life. So you could sit there and like as you're channeling it, like he's freaking out. But as you're channeling it, right, and you're targeted on your target, you will siphon health from them. I also want to add like a reverse of that, like a health funnel, to where you could like heal someone or something with your own health. I want to add in the life tap spell as well. There's a lot of things that I want to put in, but I think I did all the preparations to actually support like a channeling based spellcasting. I did it too because I want to add ray spells, so I want you to like fire a beam, you know, out, and like as you're like, you know, channeling it, it's like damaging whatever you're looking at. Boom. It just falls from the sky. Oh, particles raining down. All the cinders. Love it. I have been tempted. Yeah, channel spells. Yep. Hey, Crickerlope. Yo, what's up? What are you working on? I am working on just finishing up all the spells that I put in. So I was at 186 spells. Technically, it was like 182 spells because I had 4 spells that were registered, but actually 5 spells that were registered and disabled. So I guess 181. And then I killed off all the wands. The wands are gone right now. And, you know, that took away like 17 spells. And right now we are currently at over 230 spells. Because I rearranged things and I'm like, oh, you know, that would be a cool spell. And I'm not even done yet because I don't even have like the drain life and all those other things in there. So, that. How would channeling work with durability? That is a really good question, and something that I will probably have to find a solution to. I'm thinking is as you are channeling it, whenever it does the first tick, it would take the 1 durability, and then everything after that would not take durability, right? To keep it in line with like all the other spells. But it's just, instead of like casting it at the end and then releasing it and then it takes your durability, it's just going to be the reverse, right? If I have like a healing spell, like a healing wave or something that I make, and it's like you could channel it, yeah, like the first initial hit of the spell or contact, yeah, that would take the durability. I also it was suggested that I up the durability of the stabs, so I added another max 50 durability on all versions of the stabs, so they have a little more durability. Ross, gotta run. You guys have a great stream. Great job with mod so far. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a great day. Oh, and some people, hold on, I gotta show this. People are gonna like this. I put in the summon food spell. Here, we'll just do this. I got mana muffins, mana cakes, and mana cupcakes. You can eat them. You can restore some satiety. Num 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 num. Again, I want, like, if you are gonna be a conjuration specialized mage, I want you to make fun things. I want you to be able to make cool things. There's still more things I want to add. I found out that I can actually have temporary armor, and it all works really well. I have a prototype in. So I can create temporary sets of armor that may have like special things attached to it, which would be a really, really cool concept. When I bring in the minion system, I'm thinking I don't want summons to be just for conjuration. I want them to be for each magic school, right? So if you are an evocation mage, right, you are dealing with a lot of attacks. You're primarily a DPSer, so the pet you would take out, right, and use, maybe it would be like a fire elemental or something that can also attack with you. I also have the ability to do things like mirror image, right, once I get that system in, so I can have other versions of you maybe casting the same spells that you're casting. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of neat things I can do with it. What's a new standpoint on how tiers will work? Oh, that's a good question. This music is Mining Melancholy, Donkey Kong Country 2. That's what we're listening to right now. So tiers. Tiers 1, 2, and 3. I have decided to... This is the overall, like, what the next update's gonna look like. It's a big update. It's pretty much it's a rewrite, but I think it's the right one to do. Spells are going to be different. Wands, unfortunately, they helped get over the hump of like building up to be able to create grimoires, but it was a bad idea. It was a bad idea on my part. So I got rid of all the wands. I gutted them out, and the idea is to get you into grimoires faster. The same ingredients that it took you to make the basic wand, that's going to be the ingredients to make the basic apprentice staff now. You'll be able to get an actual staff. You'll only be able to cast transmutation on it, of course, at first. But the idea is you would be able to quickly build up to getting the grimoires. That means that the Spellforge, the Oculus, all those ingredients, like to everything to make tier 1 grimoires, everything's getting cut in half for material wise. And not even cut in half, a lot of them are going to be a lot easier to do. Like, for instance, the Sanctum, I want to make that more of a ritual thing. Something where maybe you could like clay form it and then you cast transmutation on it or something and it turns into a Sanctum, right? Something that is gonna feel maybe a little different, that is low cost overall, something you could get very quickly. The temporal gears that it took to like make, because you needed like one for the Oculus core, you needed one for the Oculus pedestal, you needed, just like a bunch of materials, a bunch of Arcanus. Those costs have been cut. There's no more temporal gears that are needed, so you'll be able to make them a lot easier. Because that was a big halting point for people. Unless you had some of the mods where it's like, this easy to kill monster that appears literally everywhere has 100% drop rate for temporal gears. So yeah, that's the idea. Get you into grimoires faster. By eliminating all those lesser spells, I've redesigned like the minimum and maximum spells, right? So each tier that you upgrade now, it is going to feel more powerful, right? If you're casting a buff now, it's kind of like the idea of like 33%, 66%, 100% kind of feel, right? So you'll and everything lasts longer. It's gonna be solid. That also means that the Magitrix needs to change as well. Actually, let me add that to the list. Change Magitrix to not use Zeganite. There we go. Another thing that's pretty cool, you will be able to find some of this stuff now, some of the spell stuff, on treasure hunters. So let me make a prison here. Let's make a nice little prison for our little trooper. There we go. Spawn a couple. What do you mean? I'm not interested in whatever you're saying here, buddy. It's got anything to trade. Here we go. So you'll be able to find spell ciphers now. It's going to be a lot more rare than this. But yeah, you will be able to find spell ciphers for not all spells, but for some of the spells. So, yeah, and just again, another way of you getting stuff. Hey, Rivian, modding is going well. Going over all the changes here, all the stuff that's going to be in the next update. And we also probably should keep going through the spells and seeing what needs work still and what doesn't. Oh, will they also be in Ruin Loot Table? They could be. Make ciphers and stuff drop. Do you know what the actual name is? The Ruin Loot, not Ruin. It's not a Ruin Loot Table, right? Yeah. See, is it like the chests? Are you talking about like the crates? See, whatever it is. Oh, like cracked jars. I could. Probably won't be ciphers from a cracked jar. But, from cracked jar. And maybe ruined chest. I have to see how I can tap into things. If it's gonna be like a simple patch to a drop table, I could do that. Maybe have like some Arcanus or some stuff drop out of it. Maybe some spell scrolls would be nice. I gotta figure out the whole spell scroll thing, because that is getting ridiculous. That is ridiculous. That's on the list of things to do. I hear one of my elementals. Oh, okay. So yeah, I added that to the list. I have a running list here of things. Oh, I want to make a weighted debuff too. So I want a debuff to where if it hits you, if you have it, you can't jump. something like that is freaking scary as crap in these kind of games. Yeah, ciphers would be too much, but yeah, scrolls, Arcanus, and such would be cool. Yeah, maybe some Riftbloom seeds as well. It could be another source of Riftbloom seeds. Not a high drop rate, right? But something. So yeah, that's this update is really focused on getting like going through all the spells, right? Making Magic feel better than its current form. Adding more spells. Oh, another thing people are gonna like. I had to go through. I had to do a lot of internal work. A lot of changes. But one of the changes that I made here is the ability to make some spells. Like I have the ability now to register a spell and have it not show up in the spell forge. So that means that all the times people get like, oh, you know, for it's now an alteration based spell, but or no, it's incantation, right? So resist fire, resist earth, resist lightning. All these spells, like anything that I have highlighted green that's like an elemental variant, do not show up in the spell forge. The way you will make these kind of spells, like if you want the fireball spell, or you know, yeah, fireball one, right? You would have to get Rust Orb one. You'll set up a small ritual. You'll throw your grimoire in there with the elemental crystals that you will need, and then you will cast transmutation on that, and you will be able to directly convert a Rust Orb spell into a fireball spell. But when you do your research, it'll be Rust Orb that pops up. So that's going to help kind of narrow some things down. All right, give people a little more, like, put those elemental crystals to use. So, that. That's another change that's going in as well. All right, so let's continue with spells here. So Ignite, I need to take another look at Ignite. I have to make sure that still works. Because I had 4 versions of Ignite, so Ignite 1 I think is going to be 250 degrees. It pops stuff up to. Let's take a quick look here. Yeah, so that's 250 degrees, and then you have 700 degrees. And I think, what is Pete? See, Pete burns to 900 degrees, so I figured 700 degrees was pretty good. Crap, what is... Because copper melts at 1100, right? Which I think is the tier 3 Ignite. Yeah, that's 1100. So let me just make sure that this works and I still have the particles and there's a sound. Let's get a basic campfire. Let's get a fire pit. Man, we had some crazy flash thunderstorms here. I looked out my window when I heard it raining like sideways and hitting the window, and I look outside and there's a branch like I got a big tree over there's a branch coming down and like fell into my driveway. I was like, Oh, that was pretty cool to see. It's like the wind like pushed it over. Like, no thank you, weather. No thank you. So if I drop out randomly, it's, you know, it's probably a flash thunderstorm. It was crazy though, because like I saw it was like a mini like tornado, like other leaves and stuff were like all over. It was crazy. I was like, all right, that's cool. Why not? Why not? All right, ignite. Oh, I got the spell here. Oh, another thing that's changing. Let me pull up these stabs. This one was something that I had to change. So you'll notice apprentice magicians and archmage stabs, they no longer have spell haste on them. Nothing has spell haste on it for the stabs anymore, which is why the stabs are all going to be cheaper. They're not going to contribute to casting. They are the means in which you cast. The big difference between them is if I'm a tier 3 mage and I'm using a crappy staff, I only have 2 of my spell slots active with this in my hand. You know, the magicians will open up more, and of course the archmage gives me everything, right? So that's the difference here. Right off the bat, you will be able to put up to 6 grimoires in your sanctum. I'm not going to limit you. If you're a tier 1 mage, you could do that. But really, it's even like the archmage staff. As a tier 1 mage, you could use an archmage staff. You could. You have to have a more powerful mage make it for you. And I may put another penalty on to where if your magic tier is low, maybe it costs double. You know, double or triple, depending on how far behind the magic tier you are. But this was a big change too. And now what I could do is I could take that whole spell haste stat and I can put it on actual equipment. Like I can make a necklace now that increases your spell haste by 10% or 20% or whatever it is, right? So I can create fun things, or and also what I could do is have temporary items now, right? That maybe I can make a bracelet, you know, that you could give to someone that lasts for 4 hours, you know, 4 in-game hours, but it increases your spell haste by like 20%. You know, something fun for the conjuration mage. And to be clear, you don't have to specialize in a certain spell school to be able to cast the spells, right? If I want to do, you know, some conjuration spells with, you know, some attack spells, you can have a loadout, that's fine. It's just by specializing in a certain spell school, it's going to make those spells better. So, for instance, if you are like a conjuration mage, right? Like if I specialize in that, instead of some of my summoned stuff lasting like 2 in-game hours to 4 in-game hours, maybe I can make it last multiple days, right? And maybe the durability could, you know, maybe there could be more durability on whatever it is. And those spells that I cast will cast faster, right? So I'll get some built-in initial like innate spell haste, and they'll cost less mana, right? Because that's my specialty. I'll be able to mass produce, you know, a bunch of summoned objects easier than someone who isn't specialized or someone who's like an evocation mage. So that's the way this stuff's gonna work, right? So if you're an alteration mage, you know, your healing spell, it's gonna heal for more. It's gonna be faster to cast, it's gonna cost less mana, right? So where a regular mage may be able to cast, you know, like 3, 4, 5 heals, maybe 6, an alteration mage will not only be able to buff everyone a lot easier and have those buffs last longer, but those heals will be faster, cheaper, right? So again, I want you to feel like a certain spell school. So, that. And I think the way I'm going to have it is it's going to be built into your armor. So you'll get like, you know, Archmage robes of conjuration, right? And then if you wear the full 3, you'll get an armor set bonus, which will give you whatever, you know, like whatever the conjuration mage, you know, bonuses are, like status bonuses are. So that is also coming in as well. So I've been talking a lot. What do people think? Think it's good from the current system? Am I in the right direction, wrong direction? I'm curious. That guy freaking out. Sorry, friend. All right, let's get rid of that. Ignite. I wanted to try out Ignite. Oh, this is something dumb. I can't change this. You have to start casting and then look at it. It's really annoying, and I can't really change anything like that because it's like how the game, when you right click on the block, it's how the block itself is handling it. I can't do an intercept without Harmony that says, well, if you have the staff, don't try and open anything. All right. Well, those were decent particles. You know what? Those weren't really fire particles. That was more just orange particles. I don't like that. I don't like that. Let's change that. That was crappy. That was just orange. I do better. We can do better. I need to go into my particle system, which is right here. It's funny, I asked this morning, dropping Baby Triangle off, I asked him what he wanted for dinner. And he's like, hamburger and pasta. So that's what we're having tonight. Hamburgers and pasta. Thunder shaking my house. Oh, I missed something you said, Spetsy. Let's see. Would this also mean that there aren't a bunch of elemental resist spells in the Spell Forge? There's a lot of monotonous speed. Yeah, yep. I think I did answer that. I'm just trying to keep up here. The thunder shaking my house. Who knows? Maybe we live close. A lot of stuff. You know, right now there's like a calm, but I can see a bunch of shitty looking clouds over there. It's darkness. Really love this idea of specializing in a spell school. Really cool stuff. Yeah, I thought it was cool too. I'm not sure what this looks like with the current Essence system. Like the Essence Attunement. This is my problem with Essence Attunement. This is how it evolved, right? The initial idea you had was you could be a fire mage, right? And then all of your fire-based attacks would be stronger. Unfortunately, there are 8 elements, right? And fire is only good against water. Everything else, all the other elementals and stuff, it would just be a wash, right? It would do regular damage, right? So it's not... Specializing doesn't feel as good, you know, with that. And I was thinking more like attack-based anyways, right? That's just evocation spells. So then the idea was, well... What if I make it to where it's a spell, you know, it's an essence type, right? So you can attune to like light essence, and then you get fire, lightning, and nature, you know, spells that you're good against. The other problem with the current, and that's the current system, the other problem with the current system is that, how can I say this? There's nothing special about it. No matter what you pick, you will have a batch of spells that will do more damage. You will have a batch of spells that do less damage, but it's all across the board. You're good at attacking, you're good at buffs, you're good at, you know what I mean? Like everything, right? Like you are completely well-rounded and sufficient. And it's like, yeah, if I'm specialized in like dark, my run speed spell will last longer, you know, for whoever I'm you know, casting it on, than someone who is not, or someone who is weak, right? Like it won't last as long. But that didn't feel good to me, the way the specialization stuff works. So going forward with this new, like, I want to be an evocation mage, right? Like I feel like I could give you a batch of stuff, right? Like being evocation means that your attack damage is going to be higher. Those attack spells will be, you know, easier to cast, you know, like quicker, more mana efficient. Like, I think that's the better way of doing it. That way you feel like a damager. And also it gives identity. Some people, like me, I think it's gonna be a hard decision. But like alteration, I like the idea of being like a buff bot. You know what I mean? Like that mage that could come through and then just throwing a heal on, you know, someone and or healing something. I think that's pretty awesome. Don't worry about that basic stuff like single target damage would feel like it takes too long to cast. It takes me 6 seconds with my staff to cast Fireball 2 ATM, for instance. Longer than I wouldn't even consider using it. Yeah, well, that's the other thing too, is you will, like, I could be a Conjuration Mage and I could cast Fireball 3. Now, Fireball 3 is going to take a longer time to cast, right? Like, it would be a lot better, like, an Evocation Mage will be able to fire it off in, like, 4 to 5 seconds. Me, it's probably going to take 8 seconds, right? Just how it, you know, how it is. And I'm not going to be able to cast a lot of them. So I want to give you that ability to be like, yeah, specialize in what you want, and those spells are going to be pretty accessible. Like a spell haste and staff, that is. Yeah, and another thing too, because I did take the spell haste on, a part of this whole thing was actually changing all of the cast times. I went through all the spells and changed their basic casts. So for instance, Fireball 1, the Grimoire Fireball 1. Here, let's pull that up. Here we go. Fireball 1. So cast time is 4 seconds, right? So it's a quick cast. It does, you know, it does meh damage, right? It does 5 points of damage right now, right? So 4 seconds, 5 damage. You can do a range of 25 blocks. The spell is gonna be good in the beginning. You know, sure, someone could probably have a bow, like a better bow, and they can lob off a couple arrows, but if you want to feel like a mage and you want to level up your mana, I feel like it's a pretty well-rounded spell, and this is before any bonuses, right? And then as you go down, like for instance, let's take a look at Fireball 3. Where is it? Evocation. There we go. So Fireball 3, that's a 12-second cast, right? It's going to do a lot more damage, 12 seconds, but if you are an Evocation Mage, that becomes a 6-second cast for you, right? So I could still load this up being a Conjuration-based mage, and I can shoot Big Bad Fireball 3, but my buddy over here who's an Evocation Mage is going to be able to, you know, shoot circles around me, pretty much. They will kill the polar bear in 1/4 the time that it will take me to kill that same polar bear. And, you know, I'm going to be devoting most of my magic into that, most of my mana into that. Another thing that I'm doing as well is your armor. It's going to have more passive meditation mana regen as well. So there's a problem right now where up to a certain point, meditation sucks. There's this, like, there's a threshold where once you cross it, you know you crossed it, because you're meditating and you're running out of temporal stability, and you know what I mean? Like, you don't have that much mana. So I'm going to be adding more passive mana regen ticks on the different pieces of your, like, your main armor as well. So instead of, you know, wasting your, what, it's like 5%, right? It's 5% of your temporal stability for like 1 mana point. You know, like it may be something like for tier 3 mage, it may be like 5 mana points. You know what I mean? Or maybe 6 or 7, you know, each tick. And you'll be able to get armor and stuff like extra bracelets that will help with your meditation tick as well. That way, you know, if it's like 10 mana points a tick, well, you know, that's going to be a lot of mana that you get back from 1 cycle of meditation. So, again, right, I'm trying to think of like what sucks right now in the mod, and then just focusing on trying to, like, you know, right now, like I wanted magic for spells. I see some people are, you know, some people are saying like, hey, you know, my gateway isn't linked, you know, or something like that. I'm like, sorry, I'm not even looking at that now. I've looked at it. I can't get that same kind of crash. You know what I mean? Like, it works perfectly fine, of course. And I'm like, I'm teleporting like 5,000 plus blocks away. You know, like it's, and I got like, you know, I got them like woven to where they're doing like this like rotation pattern all at over 5,000 blocks. So I'm like, I don't know how to help you. I need more information. So this is the focus now is spells. I feel like Elemental Attunement would really fit this game, I think. It would be nice to do that. So this is the problem. Elemental Attunement is great for an Evocation Mage. A lot of their spells have an Elemental variant. Incantation spells, they have like the Resist Fire and stuff, which when I bring in bosses, boss fights and stuff, you will want those spells. Like people, you will absolutely want the mitigation to the element. Like if you are fighting the fire mini boss, you will want Resist Fire on, or it's gonna beat you and it's gonna hurt. The problem is like Conjuration, you don't really have elemental variants. Like I do at the very end, tier 3, right, with the ultimate weapons, like summoning the Eclipse and stuff. But it's not like I can make that spell better. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a fireball where I'm like, well, it's gonna do more fire damage because you're a fire mage. You know, it's a weird thing. It's a melee weapon, and it's a weapon that other players could pick up as well. Right? So you could summon for the fighter in your group, right? The Blackguard. You can buff them up with like strengthen and agility and swiftness and, you know, spike shield and all these spells. And you could summon the ultimate weapon down for them as well, so they could use that instead of like whatever their weapon is, right? And just do massive damage. But Alteration doesn't have anything that's elemental in it, right? So like it's only good for like evocation. So it's not the same like, well, you become a fire mage. It's like, what does that even mean if I'm a conjuration mage? You become a fire conjuration mage? Like that doesn't make sense, you know? Not with the kind of spells that you create, right? If I create a belt that gives the wearer 10% run speed bonus, you know what I mean? Like how, what do you want me to make a fire belt? You know, that gives you 10% run speed bonus that has a red tint. You know, it's not worth the effort, I don't think. Like why would you want to be a fire mage? One thing I did think of is a meditation percent mana regen would make the most sense. Nope, it is not percent. It is not percent mana regen. It helps and it doesn't. Because the thing is, like, I've thought about that. I don't like that as a concept. Because it gets weird at low numbers, and at high numbers, it's too good. Right? Like, if you could go down and get, oh, I got 10% of my mana in one tick of meditation. Well, if I have 1,000 mana, then I can instantly get back 100 mana. You know what I mean? Like, it's too good. Why would you ever want to use a potion system or anything when you could just, oh, 3 ticks of meditation and I'm at max, you know? Like I can cast the fly spell now and I can do all this stuff, right? Like it's too good. So it's going to be different. Like meditation is going to always be worth it, but not the sole thing that you depend on. Elemental Attunement's biggest issue is your garden variety elementals aren't too predictable. I've ran into 3 different elementals just today. You should have run into 2. So the way spawning should work is that it takes a look at the weather conditions and the daylight cycle. Or not the daylight cycle, it takes into account weather conditions and the time, like the calendar date. So if it's considered spring, then I think spring is, what is it, water elementals and maybe nature elementals, and then summer is fire and lightning, I think. You know, so you should be seeing two. I think winter should be frost and arcane, I believe. No, is it? It's frost and or it's frost. Yeah, frost and arcane, I think. There's only two. There's two types of elementals that should spawn with a season. Now, that's how I have it set up. We are currently in a release candidate. I've been saying for a while that the spawns felt like something was wrong with the spawning. And wouldn't you know it, we're in a release candidate, and they had to fix some stuff where, like, summer months, like summertime, wasn't spawning the right things. So I think they're working out some bugs. They're working out some gremlins, which is cool. You know, it's good. It's good. But yeah, that's how it should work. That's how I have it set up. Now it's up to the game to actually do it right. The red tinted belt, right? I'm only conflicted on tier 1 mages, instantly getting all the essence, Spellforge, Sanctum, Grimoires, and all that stuff. For me, starting out small with the little wands and rituals felt much better in terms of progression. I thought about that too, but honestly, it did not feel good. Like you use wands until you're not in a tier 1 mage scenario, and it screws up the scaling of the grimoires, right? Because this game has, you know, a certain amount of hit points. Like some of these creatures, like it's weird. We have a tier system that nothing ever uses, right? The damage and protection tier system. It's getting dark out. Are we getting another storm? Damn, those are dark clouds. Man, I may be live streaming for maybe another 10-15 minutes. I'm shutting down this computer for the thunderstorm that we are getting. Oh, it's gonna be awesome. I gotta make some hot cocoa. Yeah, but I want to see what this update does, right? Take the wands out. Does it feel better having direct access to the real spellcasting system, right? Spellcasting system this whole time was supposed to be grimoires and stabs. Wands I threw in there, and this is a thing. I can make spell scrolls. Like, now that I freed up the wand as an accessory item, I can do things where maybe you imbue a spell scroll into a wand to get more charges, or, you know, something else. Like, it frees it up. But yeah, I want to see what it's like with this. This is going to be a big change, and then after people get the new spells in hand, right, the new feel, jumping into grimoires a lot faster, right? The RNG is going to be a little better, because another thing I did in the back end is this right here. The spell school plus the type. I can set up searches now and discovery searches to where you could use like a neutral spell scroll, and then you may be able to set something up close by that says, look for only alteration spells that are neutral, right? So for tier 1, you'll get one of 3 different spells, right? For this, it'll be one of 4 different spells. Even at max level, right? Instead of being like, yeah, you got a 1 out of 20 chance to get the spell that you want, you could limit that down now, right? And be like, okay, I want only light spells, because I know Rapid Shot 3 is a light spell and it's an alteration, so here's the light cipher. I look for only alteration spells. Now it limited my RNG by quite a bit. So I think that's going to be another bonus on top of the fact that you won't be seeing all these elemental variant spells, right? You could see resist elements, right? But that's going to be in the pool with like telekinesis 2 and fertilize 2 and, you know, endless breath and root, right? So that would be the pool of spells that you could be discovering. Because I was looking at some of them. It was like, holy crap. So it's like, yeah, here, you know, you look at something like this and it's like, oh, You got like for a neutral tier 3 spell, a 1 out of 25 chance to get whatever the light spell is here, right? Like whatever. Like it could be any of these spells, and unfortunately, a big chunk of that RNG is like the specific elementals, element spells. So it's yeah, I think it's gonna be better. Damn, I don't know if you heard that about the rumble. Yeah, we are gonna be getting a thunderstorm. Spell variance lowers the RNG so much, and I very much enjoy that. It'll be a meme in my server that I'm gambling addicted. Right, the Spellforge. 15 times in a row, successful. Use it and not get a resist spell, right? That's the thing too. I feel bad for the people who are like, I just got 3 resist spells. It's like, well, that's RNG. That's true RNG. Unfortunately, in the US, there's no school like we're talking about like elementary through 12th grade. There are no schools that I know of that actually talk about probability, which is a shame, because probability and understanding what random is something that I think like everyone should know. Unfortunately, also in our country, if you look at like the top donors for the education system, the Lotto actually donates a lot of money into education. And this is me, tin hatting it, but isn't it silly how isn't it funny how we're not taught probability, right? You go to a casino and you think like 7's bound to come up. It's my lucky number, right? We haven't seen lucky number 7 in a while. But it's like, you don't understand what probability means. Like, just because you haven't seen it the past 10 times doesn't mean that 7's gonna come up because it's due. That's a very human thing to think, right? Like, it's not due to come up. Each roll, you have that equal 1 out of 52 chance, right? Or whatever your chance is to get 7. It's still incredibly low, and there's a chance that you may never see it that night. You know what I mean? But I feel bad. That's why I tell people, I'm like, don't go to a casino. Like, obviously, Lady Luck, you guys are in a fight. And then there are times when I'm on stream and I'm just doing a test and it's like, oh, I got the fly spell, or oh, I got Thunderbolt. Hey, look at that, I got 2 swiftness in a row. So yeah, because it has no memory of what the previous rolls were. All right, everyone, let's find someone to raid, because that is we got some darkness outside. We got some dark clouds. So much so, I'm looking at the stream, like the one light source that I had, because it was super bright back there. One light source, kind of bright. I gotta remember to turn on those lights. Twitch.tv. Who is playing Vintage Story? We got Percuss here. I think it took 30 attempts to get Zephyr, right? Well, when it's a 1 out of like 28 chance, yeah, it will take that long. Right? A 1 out of 28 chance, yeah. You're lucky you got it in 30 attempts. See, man, love how the rework's shaping up. Yeah, I wanted to post something in Discord, but it's one of those things where it's like, how do I convey, right? Like, it's a big update. It's like, the spells are different, right? Like, there's some new variants of spells. Like the whole summon system, I think is just gonna be awesome, right? But how do I convey that in a screenshot, Like, hey, yeah, conjuration magic is like real now. Yep, here, let me go and Paul Bunyan and like cut down a tree, like they're real tools. But that's also why I'm like, I haven't live streamed in a little bit. Why not? Why not do it? All right, who do we have here? Oh, look at all these people streaming this game. Love it. Love seeing this. Anyone have someone who they want me to raid? that is playing this game. I just looked and I'm like, oh, look at that, guys. You're using my magic mod. It's me. It's me. It's looking cool. Thank you. I always do that. I'm like, that looks like a good stream because my camera's like in the bottom left-hand corner. So I can't see my face. It just says like how many viewers I have. Right? But I'm like, hey, look at that. I guess I could raid Percuss. I could raid Percuss. Juna Wood's on. Could raid them as well. Too bad Mischief isn't on. I like Mischief with mice. We could just pick another random person. Alright, I'm just gonna pick a random person. I don't see anything in chat. We're gonna pick a new person. This person here, they're right next to me on the stream, and it looks like they have like the avatar thingy going on, and they have a witch's hat. Searching for iron, food, and greenhouse. You know what? Done. Wait, they speak English, right? Yep, I think they speak English. Wait, no, that was the ad. Perk is always fun because of the bell rate. You know what? Let's do Perk. Let's do Perk Plus. He was my first choice. So let's give it to someone new. All right, we'll do Perk again. Raid Perk Plus. Boom. Oh wait. I could do exclamation raid. Here we go. I gotta make sure I copy this. It's always so hard copying my raid message in this thing. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. It's starting to rain sideways and hit my window. Excellent. Just in time. I'm gonna keep working on this. The goal is to get this all filled out green. Fill in some of the spells. It's not gonna be 100%, but I got a lot of spells to test. A lot of these spells should be good. We should have some effects in there. I got the sounds in. Right Magic is going to feel more magical in this update. Yeah, that's the main goal. That's the main goal. I'm going to have to create a ritual as well. And Vexus coming in right at the end with the sub. Thank you. 11 months. Oh, Vexus. All right, everyone. Thank you so much, Vexus, for that, and thank you, everyone, for watching. Let's hope that I hope I don't lose power, because if so, I will. You know, I should probably make some get some McDonald's. I'll probably get some McDonald's because I'm pretty sure we're gonna lose power. It looks really angry outside right now. Thank you. Have a wonderful night. Yep. Catch me on Discord, Vexus. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Adios. See you later.